Talk about your thoughts going into the game. What did you think was going to happen?
I did think LSU was going to make it a game, even though history has shown, like, if you go back and look, the last 2 trips to Death Valley, we've shut them out and played a great defensive game. I didn't see a
Are you talking about real
shutout.
trips? We're not counting 2020, right? 2018, 2016, shut them out?
2018, 2016, yeah, the real
Okay.
trips.
Okay. So the last 2 times
Yeah,
they've played in front of fans in Death Valley.
right. They shut them out. I think one year was 10-0. The other year in 2018 when Tua was first starting for us, it was 29-0. That has been a stadium that Alabama has gone into and owned and taken over. So my initial thoughts going into this game were, been there, done that, but at the same time, don't get cocky, don't get, all bent out of shape or get lazy. Like I hope that this team plays to a standard and doesn't have what they had against like Tennessee. And that's kind of what happened tonight. My thoughts going into this game were, as long as they keep their composure, everything should go according to plan. They should get the victory, and we should get out of here with a win and still control our own destiny. And obviously, that's not what took place.
I had similar thoughts. I thought this would be a dogfight. Like outside of 20, was it the first year of Burrow, 2018? That was 29-0, right?
Yes.
I mean, outside of that year and the COVID year, so before that, so I mean, we're talking 6 years ago, but it's always been a dogfight. Like even 2016, it was 10-0. It was 3-0 for the longest time, or 7-0. I don't remember which. And I was in college. Oh my God, I'm old. And even 10-0, you're not like, oh, we're blowing them out. 2014
Right.
goes to overtime. 2012, obviously, the screenplay to Yeldon. Lost in 2010, lost in 2008. So I had a feeling it was going to be a good game.
Right.
I just thought Bryce Young would make a couple more plays than Jalen Daniels. You can argue he did. You could also argue the interception, he didn't. So it just didn't go Alabama's way tonight. And now what are your thoughts kind of coming out of the game? We've talked about the future. Now what are you thinking of the 2022 Alabama Crimson Tide?
Definitely below expectations. I thought they were not necessarily lucky, but they were blessed to get to the college football playoff last year after all the pieces they lost in 2020. To have Bryce Young win the Heisman last year, to have all these new receivers and new faces, and to win the SEC, to get in at 12, was it 12-1? Because remember, we did lose a game to A&M.
Yeah, which was what I talked about a few weeks ago when they lost to Tennessee, and everybody was writing the season off. I'm like, guys, they lost to a worse team on the road last year, and it was fine. It ended up being okay. But now, obviously, nope.
Right. So, I mean, you had a good situation last year and a better situation with all these new pieces. Like they say, we say at Alabama, like, we don't rebuild, we reload. And you kind of saw that last year. I thought they were blessed to make the college football playoff. I thought they were blessed to make the national championship. And we didn't win the championship. I was disappointed a little bit, but then I thought about it and I'm like, with everything we lost after the COVID year, to see what this team was able to do after that, as a young team with a young quarterback, that's awesome. So then I go into this season and I'm like, it has to only go up from here, doesn't it? Like the next step after losing a championship is potentially winning a championship. And I went into this season with expectations of that. And now it's like, man, way to go below the belt.